Good afternoon, fellas. My name is Brian Mitchell. I'm the cornerback coach here at North Carolina State. And once again, I hope everyone is safe during this situation that we're going through with Corona. I hope your families are doing well. And once again, fellas, we're praying for everyone out there that's in need and that's helping us overcome the obstacles that we're overcoming today. Like I said, this will be my first year at NC State. It's been a privilege, honor. It's been a blessing to be here with Coach Doeren and his staff and reunited with Coach Gibson and Coach DeForest, where I've worked with those guys at West Virginia before. North Carolina State is more special than I ever thought. I mean, this place is a gold mine. When you're recruiting against them, you're playing against them, you always wondered, what their competitive advantage was. And you can see the facilities are unbelievable. The people are even better. But once again, fellas, when you're part of a staff that, is working and striving to be the best each and every day, that makes coming to work a lot easier. This will be my 26th year of coaching Division I football if we get to coach this fall, which I'm praying we do. I mean, this is what we do, fellas, for our livelihood. But I've been blessed to be at some really great places. I've been blessed to coach with some very good coaches. Last place I was with was remarkable, being with one of the best defensive coordinators in the history of college football, Bud Foster. I've also sat in the room with Bronco Mendenhall. I think it's a bright mind, as good as anyone around. I've been exposed to the NFL on numerous occasions. And like I said, when you've done this for 25 years, you get exposed to quite a bit. And along the way, you kind of figure out the process of what you want and what you don't want to be a part of your resume, to be a part of your coaching structure, to be a part of your philosophy. And having been exposed to the 4-3, the 4-2-5, the 3-3-5, the 3-4 when I was a D coordinator has helped me form the format that I'm using today, whether it be in press man, whether it be zone coverage. I've had a bunch of good influences in my life that have helped shape that. Today we're going to talk about man coverage. I know there's a lot of different philosophies out there. I'm just going to really break it down from a philosophical standpoint. I'm also going to break it down to how I see it. I mean, and I may see it totally different than what you're teaching. So if I'm provoking thought, that's probably what I want to do more than anything. I played the position when I was in college at BYU. I was blessed to get drafted by the Atlanta Falcons and play there from 91 to 94. And having failed, has helped me develop, and be confident in what I'm teaching today. And it's like anything, fellas. You can only be good at a few things. You can't be good at a lot of things. And I've hung my hat on these things for the last 10 years. And knowing what we're facing today with all the spread teams, in the RPO, you're playing more man coverage. So how can I blend my shell, my cover 2, my cover 4, my press man, my bail technique is how I've come to develop what we're doing at press. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll get going on some film, some philosophy talk, and hopefully, fellas, if anyone has any questions, I mean, you can go on the web page, you can email me. I'll gladly send you guys anything I have. I have no hidden agenda other than to help you guys be better football coaches. And if there's something I'm not doing, hey, share that with me as well, okay? But what we'll do is we'll get started on press man technique, all right? And I believe in a philosophy in teaching my players exactly what I want from them, all right? So when we're in a press position, the first thing I'm going to talk about is denying, okay? And when you're talking about denying someone, just by your presence on the line of scrimmage, in an aggressive stance, saying, I'm going to deny you the ball no matter where you go, it's the first thing your players need to get in their head, all right? Because we're up there, all right, to complete a mission, and that's to deny you the ball. The second part is disrupt timing, all right? And what does disrupt timing mean? If I can make that wide receiver hesitate for a split second, all right, I'm disrupting timing. If I can flatten him and let his shoulders get vertically, I'm disrupting timing, okay? If I can widen him, all right, and create, a further throw for the quarterback, all right, I'm disrupting timing. And once again, all we want to do is make sure he doesn't get a free release off the line of scrimmage, all right? The next one is get the wide receiver off his mark, all right? And I'm telling my guys, 3 to 4 yards, all right, is ideal, all right? Once again, all right, if he releases inside, I'm going to flatten him, all right? And if he's working on an angle, that means he's not getting vertical. That means he's working flat, okay? If I widen him, okay, he's taking 2 to 3 steps, all right, before he gets vertically up the field where his shoulders get turned, okay? So I'm going to get him off his mark. And as you can see, when we get into the film, all right, there are going to be some throws, to the sideline where maybe he started, on the numbers, but now he's 4 yards outside of the number. Now they only have 3 yards to work for the vertical game, which is fades and back shoulder throws, okay? All right? And then the fourth thing is create a tight throwing window, all right? Even at our level, a lot of quarterbacks aren't comfortable throwing in tight windows, okay? All that goes back to is disrupting timing, all right? Make him hesitate. Give the pass rush time to get there. Give the blitz time to get there, okay? And you're going to hear me say this quite a bit. Stay connected, okay? That's the whole agenda that comes with man-to-man coverage is staying connected, okay? The next thing is fundamentals, all right? We're going to start with our stance, all right? It needs to be balanced and comfortable with weight on the balls of your feet and your hands cocked. I don't know how many times I tell my DBs, get your hands up, because that's wasted motion, okay? So I'm here getting ready to strike, all right? And everything's always going to start with my feet. My hands are going to come second, all right? But I don't want to have any wasted motion with my hands down here and bringing them up off movement of the wide receiver, okay? So get in a nice balanced stance, okay? All right, you don't need to be bunched up, get comfortable, okay? Because now we're saying we need to be able to move. Hands, all right, they're the great neutralizer, all right? They neutralize speed and they control the wide receiver. Good hands allows a slower DB to cover a faster wide receiver. Once again, all right, we're talking about disrupting timing, getting him off his mark, all right? And our hands will help neutralize any vertical speed, because if we're getting him going, east and west instead of north and south, all right, and staying connected, we're going to win that battle more times than not, okay? The next thing is feet, all right? Have a plan, okay? A lot of corners, that I teach, that come, fresh into the program, they don't have a plan, all right? And like I said, I'm going to probably go over at least 2 to 3 press techniques as we go through this presentation, all right? But on-snap footwork is predetermined, okay? Whether you're using a leverage step, you're inching back, you're going to get into a staggered press, everything is predetermined based off of his alignment, okay? But we want to have a predetermined footwork so we don't false snap. On-snap footwork is probably the detriment of all negative plays, okay? Probably 90% of negative plays. If your on-snap footwork is not on point by the snap of the ball, you're probably going to get a minus 90% of the time, okay? You want to be under control so you can mirror the wide receiver's movement, okay? Leverage, all right? My help may determine my alignment. And of course, you're playing a man-free concept and say receiver's not split too wide, all right? You might be able to leverage a little more to the outside, okay? Knowing you've got inside help, or if you've got some kind of robber coverage where you can have someone defend the slants, the quick game inside, you can also leverage, okay, by taking inside or outside alignment, okay? This is what I teach. And I don't know if, a lot of coaches will say split them down the middle to the inside, okay? I don't ever teach that unless we get an oversplit. And an oversplit to me would be balls in the middle of the field, wide receivers outside of the numbers, then we will align inside, okay? Split him down the middle to the inside. If he is on the numbers, ball's in the middle of the field, we're going to go to a head-up alignment, all right? And we're in that head-up alignment, all right? So we have a two-way go, just like the wide receiver has a two-way go, okay? So just keep that in mind. All right, the first technique I'm going to teach is a leverage step, all right? And we can go back to that so you guys can get a picture of it. On the receiver's first move, take a small inch step with the inside or outside foot. This is what I'm talking about, having a plan before the ball is snapped. Bring opposite hand to the break, to the receiver's near shoulder pad, all right, to redirect and widen, okay? So basically, you'll see on the film here, all right, how they're working the read step or the leverage step. It's not the read step, it's the leverage step. All right, the coaching point is, once again, this is a head-up alignment technique so the receiver can't get a pre-snap read. Be patient and shuffle to stay square. And once again, fellas, every wide receiver, all right, is taught how to defeat inside leverage, okay? I don't know how many see head-up alignment, okay, which now they've got to have a plan, all right? And therefore, you know, like I said, the chances of them defeating head-up alignment, all right, is less greater than them seeing this 100% of the time or 95% of the time. They will have a plan to defeat inside leverage, okay? Leverage step is this, okay? And I'm going to do it in slow motion, okay? Right there. You can see how the corner leverage steps to the right, okay? And he's saying right now, instead of me aligning inside, I'm going to leverage step to inside, okay? That's what the leverage step is, all right? So if you feel like his release is going to be to the outside, leverage step to the outside. If you think his release is going to be to the inside, leverage step to the inside, okay? Therefore, we have a predetermined plan, all right, with our footwork, all right, so we can take something away, all right, instead of aligning inside. That's the whole point of the leverage step. Also, all right, it keeps you square to your target, all right? It gets your feet moving so you're not stuck in concrete, all right? That's why we use the leverage step, okay? But you can see how this young man, he leverage steps and he off arms. And once again, the off arm is just the arm opposite of the break, okay? And once again, we're talking about deny, disrupt, get him off his mark, okay? And I think this kid does a really nice job. I mean, 2 to 3 yards, yes, he does do that, all right? You can see the leverage step right there, okay? The one thing I would correct this kid on is get your hands up, all right? We're going to mirror and punch. We're going to stay connected, all right? Mirror, punch, stay connected. Now, you may say, Coach, I'm leverage stepping to the right. He releases outside. All right. As long as you're staying connected, you're staying connected. All right. Doesn't matter if that's a slant or a go route. Okay. Say he's leverage stepping to the inside. He runs the slant. As long as I'm staying square and I mirror and I off arm, I'm staying connected so I can still go work the ball. Okay. The great thing about both these kids right here is that they're walk-ons, okay, going against scholarship wide receivers, okay? So if you can teach patience, you can teach the philosophy behind what you're doing, okay? As long as they have enough ability, all right, they can be playmakers for you, okay? But once again, all right, have a predetermined plan, which he's using the leverage step. He said, I'm taking away the right side, okay? And he's staying patient. He's staying square, all right? Which is the most important thing. We're going to mirror, all right, and punch. Now, I want you guys to see that the scholarship guy's doing it, okay? It'll be the guy down here, okay? Once again, it's like you need a little board to just tap them, you know, get your hands up. Get your hands up so you're not wasting, all right, motion, all right? But we were game planning this team, and we're going to game plan every wide receiver, all right? We're going to predetermine, all right, what's the best technique for that guy and that guy at corner, okay? Knowing that this was a spread team, having coached against his offensive coordinator, all right, having seen the air raid, all right, we knew what these guys were going to do 95% of the time. Didn't matter where he was on the numbers, okay? So what we ended up doing is, in this situation, that's a 6-rounder. That's a first-rounder, okay? I mean, that guy's pretty talented. I was there when we recruited the kid, okay? But we're going to leverage step to the outside because we knew 90% of the time they were going to release to the outside. And you can see right now, we have a predetermined plan. We're staying square. And when you do things like that, you're going to deny, you're going to disrupt, all right? And you're going to definitely get him off his mark, okay? Those things we talked about. And you can see how square he is right now. So, as Adonis leverage steps to the right, all right, and the receiver releases outside, his next step should be open up and push off that inside foot, okay, which now doesn't allow him to cross over with this next step, okay? And you can see how square he is right there. I mean, and that should be the case, all right? We know this game is hard enough, you know, to guess right, all right? And that's what he did. He based off the film study, all right? It's an educated guess, all right? He flattens, he widens, all right? The guy does not get off the ball, okay? All right, here's Adonis again. And there's going to be some good and bad on here. Now he leverage steps to the inside, okay? Same thing, okay? As he leverage steps to the inside, all right, his next movement should be to open up with his right, okay, and not cross over as he mirrors and punches. Now, the beautiful thing about this is we get the R form on him, and once again, we're denying, we're disrupting, we're getting him off his mark, okay? So right now, he's 4 yards outside the numbers, okay? Create a tight throwing window, okay? And we'll talk about the top end being in phase, out of phase as we get through this tape. But create a tight throwing window. And we'll also talk about hand placement, all right, with Adonis's left arm compared to his right as we get down into the film. But there has to be a mentality, all right, a confidence whenever you step to the line of scrimmage that I'm going to deny you the ball. I'm going to win this one-on-one battle every snap, every play, all 4 quarters, okay? That was the leverage step. And I like leverage step because it's balanced, it's easy to teach. You know, it takes a lot of reps. But I think once the kid feels comfortable, it'll teach him how not to cross over, how to stay connected, how to have a predetermined plan, all right, to defeat the opponent that he's facing. This technique is probably universal, okay? Everyone does it. It's probably my least favorite, but this right now is probably the easiest for your kids to do, all right? And I try to take it to another level, all right? The inch technique is a leverage the coverage with your lineman and inch back staying square mirroring the target. All form once the receiver is committed. So the all form doesn't change whether you're in leverage step or inch. The one thing about inch, and I think a lot of coaches are not being detailed in how they teach it, is a lot of guys are teaching it where you're just backpedaling out of there super fast. Now you're vulnerable to inside breaks. Okay? You're not doing anything other than just giving them a free release every snap of the ball. Now, if your Joe is better than their Joe, it doesn't matter. All right? But at this level, all right, a 4'6" guy can cover a 4'5" guy if he's technique sound. Okay? A 4'6" guy should be able to cover a 4'4" guy if he's technique sound. Okay? If he's not technique sound, I mean, he's going to have some chinks in his armor, okay? But this inch technique is probably the one most people are teaching, okay? Now, these are just some of my drills. You know, I like showing you a drill, and then we'll get into the game clip. But you can see, this is my inch, all right? We're not backpedaling out of there, okay? We're staying square, all right? We're trying to mirror so we can get ready to punch, okay? And this is just a simple drill. It's muscle memory, all right? Hands behind your back, all right? Staying big and square, okay? And working feet, okay? Keeping a nice base, all right? Where you're not hopping, all right? It's quick. It is a quick side-to-side shuffle, giving ground begrudgingly. All right, and then the next one, we'll go with the off arm, all right? The arm opposite of his break. Staying square, trying not to cross over like this guy is doing, okay? I'm sorry, this guy right here, all right? We don't want to cross over, all right? Stay square, all right? And I like the tempo of what these two guys are doing, all right? This is not a kill drill. This is muscle memory, okay? And once again, we'll do these drills every day, okay? If we're going to be a press team, all right, that's going to be a big part of what we do. I mean, we're going to work, of course, like everyone else, we're going to work some kind of zone, you know, coming out of our break. We're going to work some kind of tackle drill, and then we're going to work at least 10 minutes of press work every day. Now, I may not be able to get it in my individual, all right, but when we go to one-on-one, I can work pressing one-on-one. If we've got a 5-minute release against our wide receivers, I can work 5 minutes right there as well. And that's what you saw with the leverage step in that first clip of guys leverage stepping in practice. We were stealing 5 minutes there. Now, if you can incorporate it in your individual work, these drills are great, okay? But like you guys, we don't have a ton of time, so you must maximize whatever that practice schedule is and incorporate these techniques, these drills within the framework of what you guys want to get done in practice. All right? And once again, we'll go straight back. And I like the tempo of what these two guys are working. I mean, both these guys were professional kids that I coached. They're both in the NFL. You know, Greg ran high 4.4. Brandon probably ran 4.55 or 4.53. But they were professional. Now you can see, you know, the tempo. It's not a fast tempo. It's muscle memory, okay? Mirror, punch, stay connected, okay? Now, once again, you can see the inch technique, how I teach it, okay? And it's not a back pedal, all right? It's giving ground begrudgingly, staying square, mirror, punch, okay? And the beautiful thing about it is, fellas, is that we're probably going to carry 3 to 4 different kind of presses into every game, okay? So you can see the inch technique right here, all right? And I like the inch technique on speed releases, okay? If I know he's a speed release guy, I don't mind the inch technique whatsoever. If he's a foot fire guy, he likes to dance at the line of scrimmage, all right? We're talking leverage step. We're talking about stagger press. All right. We're talking about being a little more aggressive on that wide receiver. Okay. But you can see the inch right there of Brandon staying big and square, putting his body on his body. All right. Trying to disrupt timing, try to get him off his mark, and staying connected. And that's the key, fellas. If we don't stay connected, and I'm not saying grabbing, hugging, I'm saying off arm length, you know, so we can get in position to run, all right, we're going to stay connected, just like Brandon's doing right there. All right, now, once again, we're going to take 3 to 4 of these different techniques into the game. You can see up top, Adonis is leverage stepping. I'm going to put in slow motion right there. You can see the leverage step up there by Adonis. All right, and fellas, we're going to have a predetermined plan against each one of these wide receivers. Okay? Each one of them. And once again, you can see both wide receivers getting an off arm on him. All right? They're not getting off the ball freely. And that's why, you know, when you're teaching the inch technique, you're just giving ground begrudgingly. It's not a back pedal. All right? It's just some quick shuffles straight back. And to me, that's my inch. Okay? That is inch to me. It's not a back pedal from press alignment. It's giving ground begrudgingly. And once again, create those tight throwing windows. All right? We talk about denying, disrupting, get him off his mark once again. You can see the wide receiver, you know, starts at the top of the numbers. All right? Before he gets off that break, we've widened him 5 yards. Okay, now they have 1.5 yards or 2 yards to work. Okay, create that tight throwing window. Now, also, fellas, I'm not just going to play off all day long, and then at critical situations, I'm going to get up and start pressing. We're going to do a number of things from that alignment. Okay? And teams that study us know we will. All right? But once again, all right, how can we disrupt the timing between that guy and that guy? Okay? And deception is everything. Whether you roll down at the last second in changing your leverage and coverage, or if you bail from that alignment, or you blitz from that alignment. Okay? Change up your techniques, you know, showing different presses. All that is going to disrupt timing between the quarterback and the wide receiver. In my opinion, most teams, when it's 3-by-1, are coming backside. Okay? In my opinion, the guy should have came off the read a lot quicker. Okay? But if they don't, we did our job. And that was the inch technique, fellas. All right, so right now we've got our leverage step, we've got the inch technique. Now we're going to throw in the bump technique. All right, it's just a conservative press from 3 yards off the receiver. We're going to inch back, staying square to the target. If the receiver releases inside, flatten him down like we've been talking. All right, if he releases outside, widen him. All right, this technique creates indecision and hesitation between the wide receiver and quarterback. Once again, we're talking about disrupting timing, okay? This is just a conservative way of playing press. All right, here's the drill work. I'm stealing time, yes. Did I have time in my individual period? Maybe not. But when we went to one-on-one, we were going to work inch, all right, and we were going to work bump that day, okay? So you might get 3 reps, all right? So inch, bump, inch, all right? If you get 4 reps, we'll get 2 bumps and 2 inches, okay? Or we just may focus on all bump. But once again, all right, this is just a conservative way, all right, of playing press. We're just doing it from 3 yards off. All right, we're still going to mirror, all right, and we're still going to punch with the off arm, okay? The one secret sauce in all of this is you put your body on his body, okay? Take a charge, all right, with better leverage than taking a charge. We're not just flopping out of there, all right? But put your body on his body. Worst case scenario, we'll put the off arm on him, all right, and we'll stay connected from there. But you can see it's all footwork, all right, and it's always going to be feet first, hands second, all right. But I like what this corner does. I mean, he's mirror and then he punches, all right. He's staying connected. Create that tight throwing window, all right. And of course, we're going to contest all throws. And in this situation, fellas, all right, when we're in a man turn, all right, we're going to need to read through his hands and his eyes. All right, if his hands go up, we're going up and through where the ball placement is going. Okay, so you can see, all right, his hands go up and through where the ball was going. All right, what's going to tell him the ball's coming? Well, you need to read body language. Shoulder turns for the back shoulder throw, eyes get big for down the field. All right, that's great timing by this young man. All right, remember, we talk about alignments, okay? This is one of those situations where he went from a head-up alignment when he was at the top of the numbers, all right, to when he went to the bottom of the numbers, he said, okay, I'm going to play the percentage, okay? And once again, from this alignment, fellas, all right, 3 yards off the ball, all right, that looks like a lot of things, all right? That corner can bail, he can blitz, he can be a trap corner in cover 2, okay? He can do a number of things. He can, play his third with the bail technique. You don't know what we're doing. That's why we're doing the bump technique. I kind of figured this out probably, 7 years ago, 6 years ago when we were at West Virginia, all right, with Coach Gibby. We were playing so much man, but we wanted to play some zone and incorporate some things with the trap corner. All right, so we came up with this bump alignment of 3 yards, okay? Now, once again, he has a predetermined, all right, plan to defend what this young man is doing. So he aligned inside, okay? Now, a lot of guys jump hard inside, all right? You can see Adonis, all right? He's just staying big and square. He's maintaining his leverage, all right? He's saying the percentages are saying he's coming back inside, all right? And once again, all right, we're always going to put an off arm on him so we can stay connected as we get in good running position, okay? And that's the one beautiful thing about, all right, the off arm, all right? I'm in running position right now, all right? And a lot of wide receivers are being taught today, and I commend the receiver coaches, is to push us by, all right? A lot of refs aren't seeing it or calling it, all right? So we've got to be in position. Once again, we're aiming for that flap, all right? If we can grab a little cloth, grab a little cloth, all right? But we're getting ourselves in position to run, all right? But we're also telling that wide receiver it's coming, so what most receivers are going to do is they're going to run away from it, okay? So we're still disrupting timing and getting him off his mark, all right? But I like what he does, man. And a lot of coaches are teaching read, all right, from the belly button down. I'm not that guy, all right? We're going to read shoulders and eyes, okay? Shoulders and eyes. All right, if I'm looking down here, I don't know when that back shoulder fade is coming. If I'm looking down here, I don't know when those shoulders are coming up. And if you guys study, and this is just me. When I was defending guys in the NFL, when I was defending guys in college, when wide receivers run their routes, the good ones make everything look the same, all right? But 95% of them, when they come out of their break, the first thing they're going to do is shoulders are going to come up so they can get down to come out of their break. All right? Why read this when this is going to tell you what's going to happen before anything? All right? This is the biggest part on their body. The shoulder pads are the biggest equipment they have on their body. All right? You've got to manage this to come out of a break. Okay? So once again, we're going to read shoulders to eyes and not down here at the belly button, all right, to tell us when guys are coming out of the break. And you can see, that's just a great job by that kid. I like the finish. Now, you can see Brandon, he's not giving ground there because of where we are, all right, on the football field. But he's sitting inside saying, the percentages tell me by film, watching film, when he's at the bottom of the numbers, he's going inside. Okay? Now, if he were to release outside, all Brandon would do was shuffle, all right, mirror and punch. Okay? But right now, we've got a tip, just based off his split. All right, and once again, every team's not like this. There's teams that'll run slants, they'll run go routes, they'll run curls, they'll run comebacks, they'll run the dig from that one alignment, okay? I'm not just saying every time he's at the bottom of numbers, he's going inside. But for this particular area on the football field, during our film study, all right, that was a big giveaway for Brandon. So you can see he's just sitting there saying, man, I'm playing the percentages. Once again, I'm staying connected. And a lot of people say, well, you didn't go cut that route off. It doesn't matter, all right? I'm staying connected. I'm giving myself a two-way go, all right? Am I in position to secure and rip? Yes, and you can see Brandon, he's securing with his right, all right? He's ripping down with his left. Also, once again, we're not going to give you the same technique every time, all right? You can see Adonis up top, all right? He's inching, all right? Just giving you a different look, all right? But that's the beautiful thing about teaching multiple techniques, all right? You don't give those wide receivers a chance to just say, you know, every time this guy's in press, 95% of the time he's going to inch, so therefore I know how to attack it, all right? So change up what those guys are doing play after play. And once again, bump is just a conservative way of playing press. All right, and the one thing, that secret sauce that I teach within this is to put your body on his body, which is no different than saying, I'm going to mirror, I'm going to slide, and I'm going to punch. Okay? And I think Brandon does a really nice job. But also, once again, we're talking about disguising what we're doing, never giving the wide receivers a beat on what you're doing exactly. Both of these corners look like trap corners in cover two. All right? At the snap of the ball, they're going to get big and square, all right? And they're going to run the technique that they've already predetermined in their mind that they're going to use, okay? But that disguise is big time, all right? Once again, we want to disrupt timing, all right? Not give him a pre-snap read. Not give him a pre-snap read on how to attack my technique. And both these guys do a really nice job of putting their bodies on the wide receiver's body. Make him break stride, stay in phase, stay connected, create tight throwing windows. And once again, all right, Brandon up there does a hell of a job of getting that receiver wide. I mean, that quarterback only has, 1 yard to operate. And that's actually not a bad throw. It's just incomplete. All right. Here's an example of how to stay square, mirror, slide, and punch. You can see Brandon working his feet. This is no different than the drills we did when the guys had their hands behind their back. All right, just mirroring. All right, put your body on his body. Now you can see a guy not doing it. All right, now he's athletic enough to recover. All right, but you like to see Greg do the same thing Brandon's doing there. So you've got an example of a good rep and a bad rep. The one saving grace is, all right, does Greg stay connected? Yes, he does stay connected. All right, and once again, all right, disrupt timing. All right, could this ball have been thrown a lot sooner? I think so. Okay, much sooner. But Greg is staying connected, which gives him an opportunity to go intercept this ball. Create those tight throwing windows. And that's a really nice job of him staying connected there. All right. We're talking about in phase, out of phase. All right. We've been talking about doing that in, shorter throws. But when that ball gets down the field, all right, how do we defend the go route? How do we defend the back shoulder fade? And I've got a sideline drill, and there's 3 phases of it, okay? The first step is, we're going to buddy up, all right? And we're going to work outside releases from press or bump, okay? So first thing we would do is, say we want to work leverage step, and I'll say leverage step to the inside. So we'll leverage step, so we've got a mirror, all right, slide and punch with the wide receiver, with the all form. And now we're just running for 10 yards with the wide receiver at a good pace. It's not full speed, it's muscle memory, okay? We're working the all form so we can get in position to run, all right? And we'll do that going down and coming back. So if you were the DB, you become the wide receiver and vice versa, okay? And you'll see that on the drill. Step 2 would be, all right, we're still going to do everything we do initially from the first step, all right? We're going to leverage step if that's what the technique we're working today. It could be inch. It could be bump, all right? Doesn't matter. It's time to steal some time and incorporate a lot of different things into one drill. So I leverage step to the inside, all right, mirror as I slide and punch with the off arm, all right. Now the receiver, when he gets to about 8 yards, his hands, all right, are going to come up. And now the DB needs to defend, all right, without looking back, okay. So now he's going to secure and rip based off when the wide receiver brings his hands up. And that's usually 8 to 10 yards down the field. All right, step 3. All right, we're still going to work everything initially. The leverage step, all right, the mirror, the slide, the punch. But now we're going to try to get to dominant position, okay? And dominant position is cutting the route off and looking back to secure the ball. And what I mean by that is, once again, everything's still it's going to be working the fundamentals of a leverage step, staying square, all right, so we can mirror as we slide and punch. All right, but once we get going down the field, I like that nice separation there. All right, my off arm just gets me in position to run, okay? But once I feel like I can overtake that wide receiver, I'm going to hook that inside arm, all right, and I'm going to get to dominant position. So if I'm the wide receiver, okay, and I'm releasing outside, all right, ball's coming to his outside shoulder, all right? As the DB, I'm trying to get to that position. So if I feel as if I can go cut that route off, all right, I'm going to hook that inside arm. I'm going to get to dominant by cutting the route off, look back, continue to run, and become the wide receiver, okay? That'll be step 3, down and back. And once again, this is muscle memory, all right? This is not a full speed drill, all right? I've just worked a leverage step 3 times, all right? I've worked an off arm 3 times, okay? I've worked a man turn, all right? And I've worked a dominant, a zone turn, okay, in this drill. All right? So you can see, I mean, he's leverage stepping. We probably work leverage step to the right. He's putting the off arm on him. Wide receiver's working up the field. All right, and all we want to do is get in good running position. All right, that's all we need to do. All right, but from there, all right, that's when we'll start to incorporate. So we'll go down and back with that. Just run. All right, I want to stay in phase. Okay, the next one would be we'll get that same release. All right, at about 8 yards, the hands will come up and we'll work a secure and rip. All right, and then from there, we'll get to dominant. All right. All right. At the line of scrimmage, technique is pretty poor, in my opinion. All right, but he feels as if he can get to dominant position. Okay, but you can see up top, you know, we're working a bump technique. Okay, but once again, can we get to dominant position? And dominant position incorporates a number of things. When I feel like I've got this wide receiver under control, all right, I can now look back for the ball, all right? And the one thing that's going to tell him is reading, all right, through the receiver, okay? Right now, these corners are taught, you know, when you're talking 5, 10, 15, 20, all right, what routes am I defending, all right? Of course, I can get the dig, all right? I can get the curl, I can get the comeback. But when he releases outside, I've got to clear, you know, 18 to 20 yards, all right, before I feel like I can get to dominant, okay? So usually, all right, from there to there, 0 to 20, all right, I'm defending comebacks, all right? So I'm going to stay in my man turn. But once I feel like he is committed to the vertical, all right, then I'm going to try to get to dominant position like he's doing right there, all right? Turn yourself into the wide receiver once you cut that route off. All right, that was in phase, all right? Good job of Greg really, you know, getting hands on the wide receiver. But I know that guy right there, all right, is 4'4". He does a great job using his hands trying to pull me through. All right. But what Greg does is a negative and a positive here. Okay. He looks back before he gets to dominant, but he's reading, all right, the eyes of the wide receiver. He's not down low reading his hips or his belly button. He's reading through his shoulders to his eyes. Okay. And once again, in this situation, when the receiver did that, Greg thought that was an underthrown ball. All right. But I'm teaching, all right, we don't look back until we've got that guy under control. Okay. This is the secret sauce right here. Once again, we're always going to try to get those wide receivers to catch the ball with one hand. All right. So when you hear me talk about hooking the inside hand, all right, that's very subtle. That guy's not going to see that, all right, when that ball's going 100 miles an hour. Okay. He does a heck of a job of making that guy go up with one. But he's also giving himself a chance to catch up. All right? But one, the negative is we don't ever look back until we've got that guy under control. But Greg does a great job, once again, of hooking that inside arm and making him make a remarkable catch if he can, which most of them can't. But that's an example of one guy being in phase and another guy being out of phase. Here it is, an off man. And once again, all right, we talk about 5, 10, 15. I mean, if you feel like you can't get to dominant, stay in your man turn. Okay? Stay connected. And we're creating that tight throwing window once again, where a lot of quarterbacks don't feel comfortable throwing. As you guys go through whatever your press mechanics are, during practice, I like to, work releases that incorporate foot fire, speed releases, a wide receiver off the ball, a wide receiver trying to get parallel so he gives himself a two-way go. We'll work a number of releases against each other. Sometimes you got to service yourselves, but if you can get against, the good wide receivers, hey, that's a great competitive advantage right there to get that work in. All right, just some side notes. Once again, develop your hands, your eyes, and feet to cut the wide receiver off. In the jammer press technique, how aggressive you are depends on the amount of help you have in the back end. And there's times where predictable situations where if it's 3rd and 2, it's 3rd and 2. All right, and you're calling that zero pressure, let's go win. All right. Once again, we will emulate and mirror routes. We'll simulate the wide receiver movements from those releases we talked about. And then a bump, jam, or press technique, the feet are first before the hands. You got to get the feet right, so we can get that off arm in position so we can run. Hopefully, fellas, this was helpful to you today. And, hey, God bless you guys, all right? Be safe out there.